Tyler Perry just put his Montecito mansion on the market, and the rumor is he's done playing nice. Millions loaned to Harry and Meghan, ignored calls, and a residency agreement with serious teeth. The protector is now a creditor demanding repayment. If those secret recordings drop, the Sussex brand implodes. This is the nightmare they never saw coming. Stay tuned. Good evening and welcome to Royal Daily Report, where we cut through the glamour and get to the raw truth. Tonight, we dive into the growing storm. Tyler Perry's alleged ultimatum to Harry and Meghan: pay up or face court, and the whispers of a vault full of recordings that could rewrite their entire story. If you're new here or love unfiltered royal drama, hit subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and join the Royal Daily Report family. Channel name on screen, Royal Daily Report. Let's break it down. Okay, so you know how Harry and Meghan bounced from the UK, claiming they wanted privacy and all that jazz? Well, turns out their Hollywood fairy tale might be turning into a proper nightmare. See, all this time they've been leaning heavily on Tyler Perry. Private jet, mansion, the whole shebang. But here's the thing. There's no such thing as a free lunch, especially not in LA, and it looks like Harry's about to find that out the hard way. The whispers have been swirling for a while now, money drying up, deals not panning out, but now it's out in the open. The big news is that Tyler Perry's put his Montecito mansion on the market, which is interesting in itself, but the really juicy part is what's allegedly happening behind the scenes with Harry and Meghan. Word on the street, and we're talking credible Hollywood insider street, is that Tyler Perry's basically given them an ultimatum: pay up on a loan, or he's taking them to court. And we're not talking chump change here. We're talking millions. Millions that supposedly helped them bridge the gap when they bought that Montecito dream house. Now, let's rewind a bit. Remember back in 2020 when Harry and Meghan bolted from the UK, landed in Canada for a hot minute, then hightailed it to the US? They were talking about security threats, needing a fresh start, all that jazz. Well, Tyler Perry, bless his heart, stepped in. He gave them access to his Beverly Hills estate, provided security, the whole 9 yards. At the time, everyone was like, oh, how generous of him. But here's where it gets interesting. Apparently, that generosity didn't stop with just letting them crash at his place. The story goes that it evolved into a serious financial arrangement. Tyler Perry allegedly loaned them a hefty sum to help with the down payment on their Montecito dream house. And get this, it was all done informally. No contracts splashed across headlines, just a handshake deal between friends. But here's the thing. You don't loan millions of dollars to people who claim to be financially independent. You loan it to people who need it. And that's the unspoken truth hanging over this whole situation. It suggests that Harry and Meghan weren't quite as financially secure as they were letting on. And when repayment started to slow and then stop altogether, that's when the trouble really began. Think about it. Tyler Perry's a billionaire. He doesn't need the money. So why would he threaten legal action? Because it's not about the money. It's about the principle. It's about respect. When you borrow that kind of money from someone, especially informally, the least you can do is communicate. And the reports are that those lines of communication broke down. Ignored calls, unreturned texts, the whole shebang. That's when the relationship shifts. That's when Godfather Perry, as some people call them, turns into a creditor. And that's when you start hearing whispers about court. It wasn't a sudden thing. It was a gradual breakdown, fueled by silence and a perceived lack of respect. And let's be real, nobody wants to be taken advantage of, especially not by people who project this image of being self-made and independent. So why the payment problems? Well, let's just say those Netflix and Spotify deals weren't exactly printing money like everyone thought they would. Sure, they signed the contracts, but contracts aren't cash flow. That Spotify deal reportedly dead after they were called Netflix initial spike in viewership, then a major drop-off. The Sussex brand, as they call it, sold attention. Not necessarily long-term success. And when those millions don't roll in as expected, things get tight, especially when you're carrying a massive mortgage, paying exorbitant property taxes, and footing the bill for round-the-clock security. So here's the kicker. After they ditched the royal family, there was no safety net. No Duchy of Cornwall money, no quiet security funding from the palace, no emergency bailouts when things went south. King Charles basically shut off the tap. William closed ranks. Any sympathy they had burned up in the aftermath of the Oprah interview, the spare book, all that scorched earth stuff, that's huge, right? Because when you trash the institution you came from, you don't get to call them up later when you're short on cash. By 2024, Harry and Meghan were on their own. No palace to fall back on, no discreet help, nobody willing to stick their neck out for them. So when Hollywood money started to dry up, there was no one there to catch them. That's why Tyler Perry demanding repayment became such a big deal. Where else were they going to go? And get this, Tyler Perry threatening court isn't just about hurt feelings. It's about discovery. If he takes them to court, it all comes out. Bank records, loan agreements, emails, texts, tax returns, all of it. And if one private loan surfaces, guess what? All the others do too. Every handshake deal, every temporary fix, every promise tied to some future project. It's not just about the mansion anymore. It's about whether their whole independent story can survive the light of day. Once discovery starts, there's no hiding, no PR spin, no carefully crafted silence. That Montecito house becomes evidence collateral, 14 million Australian dollars asset with a giant question mark hanging over it. That's why this is more than a lawsuit threat. It's a threat to their entire narrative. And have you noticed, no denial, no clear statement, no documentation released to shut this down. Just silence. In financial disputes, silence isn't confidence, it's calculation. Sources say they're scrambling, reviewing assets, jewelry, inheritances, residuals, anything they can sell. When cash is tight and court is looming, liquidity becomes survival. Hollywood's watching too. All those other alleged lenders are watching because if Tyler Perry's willing to go public, nobody wants to be the last one waiting quietly. That's how financial avalanches start. One person breaks the silence, and the rest follow. And it doesn't stop with their personal finances. It bleeds into Archewell, their foundation. Expenses ballooned past $5 million. Donations dropped to around $2 million. Staff cuts. The IRS started sniffing around. Delinquency notices surfaced before being resolved. But resolved doesn't mean forgotten. Audits don't care about branding. They care about numbers. And insiders are alleging blurred lines between personal lifestyle costs, foundation expenses, property usage. When auditors circle, accounts freeze. When accounts freeze, lenders panic. That's not speculation, that's finance. So when Archewell's cash flow slowed, the dominoes lined up. Streaming revenue underperformed. The foundation strained. Private lenders waited. Silence grew louder. That's why Tyler Perry speaking publicly wasn't random. It was timing. When money dries up everywhere at once, someone always breaks first. And once one lender steps forward, others start counting. That Montecito mansion might look all peaceful from the outside. The roses are still blooming, the ocean's still sparkling, the gates still closed behind fancy cars. But houses don't care about image. They remember numbers. Every unpaid dollar is etched into the walls. Every favor-turned obligation lingers in the silence. Every ignored reminder echoes louder at night. That house was supposed to represent freedom. Instead, it became proof that freedom was borrowed. And borrowed things always come with terms. Tyler Perry didn't destroy a dream. He exposed the cost of one. Independence built on loans isn't independence. It's delay. And delay always ends the same way, with a reckoning. The clock's ticking. The lenders are watching. And whether this ends in court, forced sales, or settlements behind closed doors. One thing's clear, that Montecito mansion was never the beginning of their freedom. It was the receipt. And this story isn't over. It's just done pretending. That's our full report tonight on Royal Daily Report. What do you think? Is Tyler Perry about to drop the hammer? Or will Harry and Meghan find a way out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this story hit hard, subscribe now to Royal Daily Report. Hit the bell for notifications, like this video, and share it with anyone following the real Sussex saga. We'll keep tracking every development and bring you the next update as it breaks. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay critical. Royal Daily Report, signing off. See you next time.